Hi, Katie. Welcome. It's good to have you here.
Me too.
So I wanted to find out a little bit about you just participated in the 11-day Jumpstart
Yeah.
and wanted to just get your results and your
Yeah.
take on how the whole thing went. So, um, when you initially decided to start the Jumpstart, why did you say yes to it?
Um, well, I had been feeling just kind of off for quite a while and had looked into some different possibilities of what was going on and wasn't finding any relief or results. I went to my doctor. Um, I did like some checking like hormones and stuff like that, and she said everything was fine or within the ranges that they would consider normal. And so the next step I was going to take was more drastic, going to um, just like different doctors or natural paths that would be like kind of out of pocket, out of network. And so before went down that path, I wanted to just exhaust every other possibility.
Right.
And you had mentioned the 11-day jumpstart, you'd mentioned the Ningxia, and I thought, well, I'll try it.
It's
Why not?
worth a try.
It's worth a
Yeah.
try before I go and like drop a lot of money on other things. Let's try this first. And I was a little skeptical, but I was very pleasantly surprised. So
Yeah, good. Okay, well, speaking of surprise, when you started the Jumpstart, what surprised you specifically about the Jumpstart, like the process or the enrollment process, anything like that?
okay. Well, the jumpstart itself, I was kind of expecting to have like a withdrawal, maybe a little bit. Like I had a little bit of a headache, but it was nothing like extreme.
Mm,
And but I did notice within first few days, I started to feel less brain fog.
mm.
I felt more alert, and I just like it was kind of a gradual process where I didn't even realize it had happened. My husband and I, like, he had noticed that I had been mentioning a lot that I wasn't feeling well. And I would,
Mm.
like, every day I would complain, like, I just don't feel good. I just don't feel good. And then one day I was just like, I haven't complained about not feeling good. And I was like, I just feel better. Like my joints felt better. Moving, my knees were always cracking. My knees weren't cracking as much. I had more clarity of mind. I felt more awake, more energetic. I didn't feel as lethargic, and I just felt better. So, I can't pinpoint exactly what point that happened over the process, but it was just like one day I was like, oh yeah, look at that, and then it's just continued. So,
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how um, you kind of get used to feeling crummy,
mhm.
and then you don't feel crummy, and you're like, oh, this is what that feels like to feel
Yes,
better, to feel good.
exactly.
Yeah.
You start thinking that like the way that you're living and with the pain or with the being uncomfortable or whatever it might be, you think that's normal and that everybody's doing that. And so you tough it out and you think, oh, I've just got to make do. And then when you realize, oh wait, no, that's not actually normal.
Yeah, there
But
is a better
yeah,
way.
yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you have had some pretty profound results from the Jumpstart. So I'd like you to share some of
right.
share as many results as you want to. You've got quite a
Sure.
few.
Yeah. Um, so I had mentioned like going to the doctor for the hormone thing because I was convinced that the reason I was feeling off was because of some sort of hormonal imbalance. Um, but I'm beginning to believe that that was like maybe in part that was it, but I really think a lot of it had to do with inflammation because I have a heart condition, peripartum cardiomyopathy, and um, about a month before starting the Jumpstart, I went and met with my cardiologist for our regular every 6 month checkup, and they did my blood work there. And in that blood work, they had some concerns about my inflammation. They had concerns about my water retention. They were concerned about my potassium levels, my sodium levels, just to name a few. And so, um, they were talking like, okay, we might need to increase your medication. We might need to add in some new medications. And I knew at that point we had been talking, and I knew I was going to be starting the Jumpstart. I actually already had my Nymphia at home, and I knew I was going to be starting that. And so I talked with my doctor and I said, you know what, can we hold off? Let's wait. Let's let me try this stuff. And we met again a month later after I'd had a chance to kind of get some of the stuff in my system, and we redid the blood work. So that's what I did. Came home, started 11-day Jumpstart. Um, yeah, and actually even before I started the 11-day Jumpstart, I got onto the Nixia
Mhm.
and started
Yeah.
using
Were you
that. So
taking like, was it like 4 ounces a day that you were drinking?
yep,
2 to 4 ounces, something like that. Yeah.
yep, yeah. And so I did that every day. And that was really the only thing I changed. I exercise very regularly. And overall, I eat pretty consistently, pretty well. Um, not, I'm not perfect. I mean, we do like sugar sneaks
Nobody
in
is.
here and there. We have little kids and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but like I do try and be pretty consistent. So the Nixia was really the biggest thing that I had changed.
Mm.
And when I went back to do my blood work with my cardiologist, um, all my levels were within range,
Mm.
everything. My inflammation was down, and I could tell my inflammation was down because even just in like the way that like I was looking, the way that I'm
Yeah.
feeling, the brain clarity, like um, just big differences. And then
Yeah. I could see it just in your face. I
yeah,
could see it just in your face. I'm like, wow, things
yeah,
are changing.
like everything. It's
Yeah.
my rings are looser, and it's not that I've had a massive drop on the scale, not at all. I've
Hmm.
maybe had like 2 to 4 pounds, maybe.
Hmm.
But and like I said, I do work out. I work out pretty intensely.
Hmm.
But I had kind of hit like a plateau, and it like I wasn't seeing a huge movement. So even 2 to 4 pounds with that was pretty good.
Mm.
But like inches wise, like I've I've dropped at least 2 pant sizes in the
Wow.
last like month. Like
Oh, that's
and so
great.
it tells me that like obviously something
Mm.
was off,
Yeah.
and now what I'm doing is giving my body whatever it needs to be able to function where it should be functioning, because with
Right.
the amount that I like that I do exercise and take care of my body, I would expect to be, you know, losing weight and to be seeing results, and I hadn't been seeing those
Mm.
results. So like it just feels like everything is like clicking in my body, and it's like,
Yeah.
sorry, Piper,
No,
you
you're
have to
fine.
edit this part out.
It's
Sorry.
okay.
Oh no.
Piper wanted to get
Yeah,
in on the
sorry.
fun. So, Katie, I wanted to back up for a second. So your results, your lab results
Yeah.
went back to it within the normal range. What was your doctor's response to that?
Oh, my doctor told me to keep doing exactly what I'm doing. We had talked about getting on more medication, and they were like, no, there's no need. Just continue doing exactly what you're doing because it's working.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
That's huge. That
yeah.
is huge. When you see lab numbers changing and when you hear
Mhm.
from a doctor that no, we don't need to pursue this any further and you are good, you're in the normal range.
Mhm.
That's gigantic. That's
Yeah,
huge. That's so good.
exactly.
When you told me about that, I was in tears. I was so happy for you. That was because
Yeah.
I know what a concern this has been ever since you were diagnosed. That
Right.
this is always on your mind. Like, am I going to have to add more medication? How do I keep my numbers in the right range and all of that?
Right.
And then to have something so simple to reduce your inflammation and solve some of those issues. Yeah, that's huge.
Exactly. And like with adding in medications, like, certain medications obviously are necessary, like to keep my heart functioning and whatnot. But there's always the concern of the side effects that they'll cause. And so like
Hmm.
I'm always trying so hard to find other methods. But yeah, there's just always that concern, like, because they can affect my kidneys and stuff. So
Hmm.
whenever I can find something that helps me without side effects, like all the negative side effects.
Right, right.
Um, yeah, it's just
Yeah,
been
and
great.
That's one of the things that I've found with the Ningxia is, and with the Jumpstart as a whole, when you combine the movement, your exercise with paleo eating, and Ningxia and enough water for your body. A lot of us don't drink enough water.
Hmm.
Enough water for your body. When you combine all of those things, there's nothing in there that's artificial or man-made or a chemical.
Yeah.
And so instead of, fixing a problem but causing other side effects, it works with your body and helps your body work the way it's supposed to. It
Hmm.
reduces that inflammation and helps it work the way God intended it. And
Yeah.
it heals, your body heals. God made our bodies amazingly to heal and to thrive. And when we give it the nutrition and care that it needs, it's amazing what
Yeah.
happens.
And that's exactly it. Like I feel like my body is functioning more along the lines of the way it's supposed to now. And
Yeah.
I still think I've got a ways to go. Like I'm not intending to stop now that I've done the 11-day jump start because I feel like I'm now getting things rolling and now we're on the right
Yeah.
track. And so
Yeah.
I I would bet that I still have like the inflammation is reduced, but I would bet that there's probably still more that needs to come down and that I'm going to see even more results as I continue to reduce that. So
Yeah.
one thing I've noticed, so the last couple days have been crazy and I don't know what's going on with me, but I like forgot to take my meds. I forgot to take
Hmm.
my Ningxia. Like I was just like completely off. And so I have noticed, like I can tell that I'm like I
Something's
was like,
off.
what is going on? Yeah, just
Yeah.
something was off. And it was because I got out of my routine and
Yeah.
it really, it really, really makes an effect. And so
Yeah.
got myself back on track and but yeah, I can really feel a difference.
Yeah.
I was very skeptical at first and I thought,
Hmm.
does it really like what?
Yeah.
And for me at least, it has.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and it's such a small price to pay when you look at what you were looking into
mhm,
for a naturopath or other types of holistic
yeah,
practitioner or uh, herbal remedies or anything like that.
yeah,
It's it's such a simple solution, such a
exactly.
simple path to at least try.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah. So, what would you say to someone who is on the fence about starting the Jumpstart?
I would tell them to try. I mean, it
Yeah,
doesn't hurt to try,
yeah.
and I I bet you'll be pleasantly surprised. I mean, I certainly was, and I was definitely skeptical, and my husband was very, very skeptical, and
Mhm.
even he has seen the results, and he's been impressed, and he was hesitant because I mean, it's not it. I mean, you do have to invest a little bit of money in the
Mhm.
Ningxia. And so he was nervous. He was like, well, isn't that, a little pricey for some juice? And I said, well, it's not just juice.
Right.
There's a lot more to it. But now he's like, you know what? This is better than the alternative and it's
Yeah.
working for you and we're seeing
Yeah.
results. And so he
And you
is
don't have to worry about it burdening your body.
exactly. And I don't have to go to it's basically like a little shot. And I take
Yeah.
my shot every day. I don't have to worry about going to the doctor. I don't have to worry about all
Mhm.
these other things. Like it's a really easy and effective way to help your body. And I mean, it's worth a try. It's not going to hurt you and you're not
Yeah.
going to lose anything by giving it a go. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Good. So anyone who is watching this video that wants to join us for the next Jumpstart, you can shoot me a message or you can comment below this video. So thank you so much, Katie, for joining me. I really appreciate your testimony, and I am so thrilled at the results you've gotten
Thank
from
you.
this jumpstart. It's been so incredible to watch the beginning of your journey because I know you're not going to stop at this
No,
point.
well,
Yeah,
no.
very exciting.